Good morning, folks. Welcome back to the channel. I thank each and every one of you for watching. And what I'm doing right now is I'm getting my table saw set up to make the kerf cuts that I was telling you about in that last video. I'm getting ready to make those kerf cuts on the actual pieces that I'm going to install right here in this position. So let me get the camera set up. I'll show you that and take you through that process. I'll be right back. Okay, I got the table saw set up and ready to go now. And the way I'm going to do this is I've got to make these cuts like every quarter inch or so in order to leave like 1/8 of an inch of material between each one of these slots. So the way I'm going to do that, come down here first of all and just put the end up against the fence. Now when I get ready to make my next cut, I'll come in here with this little 1/4 inch block right here and then bring that piece up against that 1/4 inch block and remove it. And then I'm trying to do this with one hand. It's just hard to do with one hand. I'll take that little block out and then adjust the fence. So I've got to do that maybe 12 15 times. So like I said, I'll get the camera set up and I will take you through it. Okay, so here goes. I will speed this up. Okay, so the first piece is done, and well, that's what kerf cutting is all about. Now, you saw me being very careful when I was handling that piece. I don't want to snap that in two, so I'll just have to be really careful when I'm getting ready to bond that in place. And so with that said, I'll get the other side done. You kind of get the general idea. I don't need to record myself doing that, so I will see you in the next segment when I'm getting ready to bond these in place. Okay folks, so both sides are done now, and I went on ahead and taped a couple of tongue depressors to each one of these. Same thing over there, and that's just so we don't have any accidents. If I'm handling it, and a gust of wind comes up, I don't want to have the thing snapping to on me. Like I mentioned earlier, I don't want to catch this on something and have it break off. So we'll just leave those tongue depressors in place until I'm actually bonding these pieces in place right there. So when I get ready to bond them in, I will get back with you. Alright, so let me show you how I was making that kerf cut. How I was able to space out those cuts. I couldn't show you that before because I was trying to hold the camera and then trying to fumble with those pieces of wood with one hand. So what I would do is, first of all, I would make my first cut, and the saw blade is down here somewhere. There's the saw blade. So I would make that first cut and then bring the piece back out from the blade, come in here with the spacer and put that piece up against the spacer, take the spacer out, adjust the fence to touch this piece, and then go and make the next cut, and then we'll just keep on doing that until I had all those slots cut in it. I think I put 16 slots in all in each piece. Yeah, but like I said, I just make a cut, bump that piece up against that little spacer, remove the spacer, adjust the fence, do it again. And I repeated that process 32 times. Alright folks, I just wanted to show you that. Like I said in that previous segment, it was just really difficult for me to try to hold the camera and fumble with those little pieces of wood at the same time. Alright, we'll catch you folks later. Okay folks, welcome back. I'm ready to bond the rub rails in place. Got everything wet down with resin, got the epoxy mixed up. We are ready to go. Let's light this candle. Okay folks, I got that first section of rub rail in place. This is of course the left hand side. Boat's upside down. I got that kerf joint packed real good with the epoxy, and used quite a few more clamps than I thought I was going to use. That's okay. The more the merrier. And like I've been saying, I've got to get this piece bonded on right here before I can lay down the fiberglass. All that has to be complete. But that is, like I said, the left hand side. We're done. we let the epoxy do its thing and get back out here and check on it here in a few hours. I kind of like the way that bend turned out right there. Okay, that's enough bragging. Well, good morning, folks. And it is the next day. The epoxy is now fully cured, and so we're going to get those clamps moved over to that side, just like that. Just like that. Got the right side bonded on, and just like the other side. Very, very pleased with how that kerf cut turned out right there on that bend, right there on the right hand forward corner of the bow. And all we have to do now is, same old thing. You've heard me say it many, many times. Gotta let the epoxy set up and do its thing. So really nothing more I can do. Probably have to give that about 5-6 hours. Weather is a little bit cooler today, and so that's going to affect the cure time. I'm just going to have to be patient with it and give it more time to set up. All right, folks, all we can do now is wait. All right, so there is one other thing that I need to do, and I can do this while the epoxy is setting up. And let me push some of the catch-all stuff here inboard a little bit. I need to make a strake for each side of the boat. Now, a lot of times you'll see people put 2 or 3 of these on each side of the bottom of the boat. I'm only going to put one near the outboard end on each side, and so it's going to be about 6 inches in from the side, and of course it's not going to be a block shape like that. I am going to shape it down, kind of a rough triangle shape. And what I'm told is that's for low speed stability, to keep the boat from wanting to yaw when you're putting along at idle speed. So it just kind of helps to make the boat track straight in the water at lower speeds. So I'm going to go ahead, while that epoxy is setting up over here, where I attached the rub rail, and that's going to be several hours worth of cure time right there, because it's about 50 degrees right now. It just slows everything down. I'll go ahead and get these pieces cut and made. I don't think this will be a big job, but I'll go ahead and get those cut to the shape I want them, and probably get those bonded in sometime this week. And all right, and then one other thing I have to do. Come over here. One other thing I need to do right here. I've got to put another drain over here on this side, just like this one. This drain right here, as you may recall, is for the compartment underneath the forward casting deck, forward of the bulkhead. I need another drain right here for the bilge area, because I decided not to install, or let me backtrack on that. I decided not to put flotation foam in this boat. I've got about 30 cubic feet of area underneath the boat, underneath the floor of the boat I should say, and 2 pounds per cubic foot. That's going to add about 60 pounds of weight to this boat. That 60 pounds I just don't want. So we're going to go ahead and just put a bilge drain right here, and already ordered another one of these garboard drains. All I have to do is just bore the hole, and I'll go ahead and get the screw holes drilled, and I will fiberglass over that, and then come back. Once it's fiberglassed, I'll have to very carefully cut those out with the Dremel tool. So that's what I'm going to be working on this afternoon while all of that's setting up. All right, folks, we'll catch you later. Okay, that is what I was talking about, that little strake. I just need to round all the corners off, and I'll probably taper that back at the forward end, and I'll just round it off back here, and that's about where I'm going to attach it. It's not going to be as far inboard as I thought it would be. It's about 4.5 inches from this outboard edge right here, and it looks good right there. I think that's where I'm going to keep it. Just got to make one for the other side now. Alright folks, we'll see you when that one's done. Okay folks, got the strake for the other side done, and of course the biggest challenge was to make it identical to the one that I made earlier, and I would say I nailed that down, and if I didn't, it's close enough. Alright folks, I will catch you in the next segment. And welcome back folks, and just like that, the other rub rail is in place. That epoxy is now fully cured, and all I have to do now is come back, round over these corners right here. I've got to soften up these corners. Remember I've talked about fiberglass, does not like sharp corners. And of course I've got to fill in this gap right here, and I'm going to use the wood flour and epoxy mixture for that, just to ferret that out. And I've got a little bit of finish sanding to do here and there, but that turned out great. I'm really happy with this. Really happy with the way these kerf cuts turned out too. I got my strakes made. I've just got to finish those out. They'll look a lot better than that when I'm done with them. And here just a few moments ago, I drilled the hole for this other garbage drain right here. And I've just got to get in there with some fiberglass resin, wet all this down just to seal it. And of course that will get installed with marine sealer. And once these pieces go in, they'll be there to stay. And with all that, we're going to call that a wrap. I will pick up where I left off in the next video. I will continue on with the installation of these strakes. And yeah, that's it. That is it for the day. I think I've done enough. So, folks, I do thank you for watching, and I will see you folks in the next video.